and I came up with what I think is a genius idea. What sort of a god of electricity am I? If this works, I'm going to get free electricity and heating for the entire winter. Today's video is sponsored by Ecoflow. What is happening, people? How you doing? So I have become a god of electricity. I know, it's amazing. In fact, what's the god of electricity called? Oh, it's me, yeah. I'm the god of electricity. I'll get to that in a bit. Now, in the last video, I know that I said I'll be going on a road trip in the next video, but it's been such bad weather and I got ill, so I didn't really fancy driving around in the rain trying to film whilst I could barely breathe and talk. But I'm better now, so in the next video, hopefully that's when I'll be setting off on a road trip. I'm either going north or west, I don't know yet. But today, I am going to be testing something out. So when I've done that video about the heaters, now don't get me wrong, I love that heater I discovered in that video, the 250 watt fan heater. It's been doing so good and I don't want to get rid of it. It's amazing. But some people don't have enough power to run that heater and they've been asking me if I can test an electric blanket. So that is precisely what we're going to be doing today. Cheers, mate. Let's go find somewhere to park up. So according to, well, me, this road here runs alongside a lake. I remember it from years ago. And I'm pretty sure that you can park on the side of the road, but like off the road a little bit, maybe. And if so, we won't be able to see anything tonight, but in the morning there might be a nice view of the lake. That is if I've even brought us down the right road, because at the moment there is no sign of any lake and I thought it was quite near the start of the road. But bear with me, we will locate the lake. I'm beginning to think I might have taken a wrong turn. I'm just going deep into the woods at the moment. After last week's video, that's the last thing I want to do. Oh, wait a second. I recognise this. Yeah, this is it. It's not exactly a lay-by, but it sort of is. I mean, I can park here fairly safely, I believe. Obviously you can't see a lot, but just over the other side of this fence is the lake. But I wasn't expecting this fence to be overgrown like this. It never used to be, so we might not be able to see a lot in the morning, but it's better than parking in the city. I am in, and by the sound of things, just in time, because I can hear the rain coming down and hitting the roof, which is kind of inevitable. We all knew that was going to happen, because after all, this is England. So you might be asking yourself, why am I the god of electricity? Well, when I built this van, I put in a standard leisure battery setup, and I've got a battery to battery charger so that when I'm driving the van, that charges up my leisure battery in the back. And when I'm not driving the van, I've got a big 160 watt solar panel on the roof, and that tops up the battery as well. And my leisure battery powers all of these sockets in the back. So I've got USB sockets, a 12 volt socket, a 3-pin normal house socket. So I've got an inverter under there as well. And it runs my lights and it runs my fridge. Now, as you know, I use a lot of the Ecoflow power stations so that I don't have to use my leisure battery too intensively when I'm doing certain things. And power stations are great, but obviously once they've run down, you have to charge them back up. So that's when I put two and two together, and I realized the solar panel on the roof that's just giving excess power to a battery that's already 100% charged, I can use that solar panel on the roof to also charge my Ecoflow. So I thought about various ways that I can tap into the solar panel, and I came up with what I think is a genius idea. So there's something called a battery selector switch, and what they're meant for is you have two batteries going into it in the inputs, and then the output goes off to the appliances, and then you can choose which battery is powering the appliances. So I thought what I could do is switch it around, and rather than having two batteries going in as the inputs, I could have the outputs going to two batteries, or my leisure battery and the Ecoflow, and the input coming from the solar panel. So originally the solar panel wiring came from the roof out of this side unit here. The positive went onto the charger and the negative went onto the battery. So what I've done is I've extended the wire so it now comes up here. The positive then goes into this switch, and then that also comes back down and goes into the charger like it used to. And then I've also got a second positive coming out of this switch, which comes around here down to the side all the way along the back there, and it comes out next to my kitchen unit, and this is the solar wire to charge up the Ecoflow. Now there's also a negative on this as well, and that goes back to the common earth block. And then if we look at the cupboard under the sink, we can access the switch. Now this switch has 4 positions. That is currently off, so no solar is going anywhere. If we switch it to the left, that will now be charging my leisure battery from the solar. We switch it around to position 2, that is the Ecoflow that's going to get charged by the solar. Or we can stick it up the top, and that is going to be both that get charged by the solar. I'm barely ever going to need to have it on my leisure battery because every day I drive anyway, and that's going to top that up. So for the most part, I'm going to leave it on option 2 purely to charge up my power station every single morning, which means that every single night I can use it until it's pretty much drained, which is why I can use electric heating systems like this electric blanket or my 250 watt fan heater. Personally, I use the Delta 2, which is quite a big portable power station from Ecoflow, but admittedly it's quite expensive. And that is where this one comes in. This is the brand new unit. It's called the River 2. It is 256 watt hours, so you're not going to get as much power out of it as the Delta 2, but it is a lot cheaper. There's a 12 volt socket, there's 2 standard USB sockets and a USB-C socket, and of course you have a standard 3-pin plug socket as well, and this is going to run appliances up to 300 watt, or if you use their X-Boost mode, you can power appliances up to 600 watt. If you take a look on the back of this thing, that's where you'll find the sockets to charge it up. And if you plug this thing into your normal house wall socket, you're going to charge it up from 0 to 100% in 60 minutes. And that is actually insane. Most portable power stations take about 6, 7, maybe even 8 hours to recharge. So 60 minutes from 0 to 100%. That's amazing. But you can also charge it up through your 12 volt socket in your vehicle whilst you're driving along. And like I've already said, you can charge it up with solar panels, and that can be any solar panel. And on top of all that, you can now charge these units up with a standard USB-C plug as well. And we all have those lying around. So this is an LFP battery, and it's rated at 3000 charging cycles, which means this thing is going to last you up to 10 years. And they actually back that with a 5-year warranty. So if you want to check out the price of this thing and the full specs, click on the link down in the description below and you'll be taken to their website. You might remember a couple of videos ago I made my own homemade sort of calzone type of thing, referred to as the God Pocket, and I made it out of pizza dough pretty much from scratch, not the pizza dough bit but the rest of it. And somebody commented saying that what they do is they just get a normal pizza and they literally fold it over, put that in the Ridge Monkey and cook it that way. So being that I am extremely lazy, I thought I would do the same. Right, this is a chicken and pepperdew pepper pizza from Pizza Express. I can't guarantee it's gonna fit. Oh, nearly. I don't want to chop it in half, I might just lose a bit of the crust. It's a shame we have to sacrifice it, but if it saves me cooking twice. Look at that, she fits like a glove. Well, a glove minus 2 fingers. In fact, I think I'm going to switch over to the larger hob for once because, well, it's just going to cook better. I can't remember who it was that commented saying that they do this, but if it works, I'm going to take the credit if it's all the same with you. If it doesn't work, you're welcome to it. Well, it smells good and something's going on inside here. Let's see if it's burnt. Oh no, she's alright. Might need to turn it down a bit because otherwise it's not gonna cook properly on the inside. It's starting to smell like a pizza shop in here. I reckon she's done. Ow! Ow, bit me! Ow! Stop it! Ow! Whoa! God, look at it. There's an onion sticking out the edge. That is proper grown-up food, that is. We don't want to leave this bit behind. That looks pretty tasty, to be fair. Garnish. Let's give this a go, shall we? First of all, the garnish. Seems to be cooked well. Let's move on to the main course. So I made myself a little plate out of the pizza wrapping. That is what we're dealing with here. Let's give this a go. That is the one. Oh no! What is not the one is the juice dripping out onto my trainers and my Ecoflow. Whoever it was that commented about this idea, thank you, it's worked. Oh no, it's happened again. Why would you forsake me, pizza? You animal. Right, I'm gonna finish this up and I'm going to catch you guys in a minute. Job done. That was nice, but it wasn't as nice as that calzone that I made from scratch the other day. So I definitely recommend the other one, but if you're feeling lazy, like I often am, that's a good way of doing it. Now it's time to go and switch the magical switch over to the Ecoflow side so that it's ready before the sun comes up in the morning. If this works, I'm going to get free electricity and heating for the entire winter. I'm not even going to know if that works until the morning because I only finished wiring it up today and I haven't been able to test it yet because the Ecoflow is already at 100%. So fingers crossed that works, because if not, what sort of a god of electricity am I? So with these electric blankets, you can get over blankets or under blankets. Now under blankets are probably a bit more efficient because it will go underneath you like where the sheet goes, and then it will trap the heat inside the duvet and all that. But you're not supposed to use them on memory foam, and you're not supposed to use them on really soft beds either, because they're not supposed to like crease up, because then you get heat spots and apparently it's dangerous. So I've gone for an over blanket. It's got good reviews, but I haven't really looked at anything else to do with it yet. I have no idea how many watts it takes or anything like that. Do not fold. What do you mean do not fold? It's come folded. I'm not going to use my 250 watt heater at all tonight, just because I want to see if this thing is effective on its own. Let's plug it into the Ecoflow and see how many watts all of these take. It's pretty thin, but it is soft as well. I'm going to stick it on my bed, and then I'm going to put my duvet over the top of that, I think. It says I'm allowed to do that in the instructions. I'm going to get the bed out now so that we can spread this thing out before we plug it in. Two things I might have overlooked. Number one, this thing is massive. My bed is a small double and this is a double. So it's a bit wide and I just think it might be a bit too big. Number two, slightly bigger issue. I found this on the floor, a second control unit. And I realised this is a dual duvet. So it's basically for like married couples that want different, well, you don't have to be married, I suppose. Anyone that shares a bed that wants different temperatures on each side. So you have your own control, which means it's got two plugs. That is not good. So I'm just going to use this side of it tonight. I mean, it's only me, so that'll work fine. And then I think tomorrow I'll return it and get a single version that is for single people. Right, let's get this plugged in. This turned on. It's now on setting number 1 and it is taking 0 watts. I don't know why. What is going on? So I've had to play around with all the different heat settings, and it's really hard to tell what wattage is being taken from each heat setting, because basically what it does is it comes on and off intermittently. So like number 1, for example, it was saying it was drawing nothing for ages, and suddenly it went to 20 watts and then back to 0. So there's no way of seeing the actual wattage drawn and working it out without just trying it for the night. I'm going to do my teeth and get myself ready for bed, get the projector out, watch a couple of YouTube videos, and then as soon as it hits midnight, I'm going to put this on probably to level 1. I might change it throughout the night. Then I'm going to get some sleep and see in the morning if this thing has done a good job.
Howdy. I am sleeping in a trailer tonight rather than my truck. Trading with my buddy Steve Wallace. We're out here on Vancouver Island.
Good morning, people. Don't worry, I didn't have to sleep in my hoodie. This has been off for about an hour. Well, not this. The electric one is underneath. But it's been doing a good job. So out of the 6 heat settings that are on this blanket, 1 to 3 are the ones that you're supposed to use continuously overnight. So I started with it on level 1. About an hour later, it hadn't really warmed up too much, to be honest. So I cranked it up to level 3. And then after about 2-3 hours, I was asleep. I woke up and it was too hot. So I put it down to level 2. And then it's been on there ever since until it shut off about an hour ago. It was on a 9-hour timer. But I've got to say, it was good. I mean, the temperature outside last night only got down to about 10 degrees. So it's not super cold at the moment, but it's cold enough to warrant this test. So I decided last night when I was getting ready for bed that I didn't actually want to plug in the Ecoflow to the solar panel, because it would have started charging at 7 AM when the sun come up, and then we wouldn't have known exactly how much power it had taken. But a moment of truth, now I don't have to get out of bed for this, because the Ecoflow has its own app, and that is pretty impressive. I don't know if you can see that, but it's down to 40% which means it's taken 60% of the battery. So let me just do some maths. It's taken around 150 watt hours from that battery. So if you're on a normal leisure battery setup with an inverter, that's the equivalent of about 13 amp hours. So I reckon pretty much anyone's setup is going to be able to handle that. But the only problem that I can see with it, which is the reason why I didn't get one in the first place, is I prefer the air in the van to be hot, the whole thing. So when you get out of bed, it's hot. So what I'm planning on doing is using my Delta 2 normally. I'm going to have the fan heater on for like half an hour before I go to bed, run the electric blanket through the night, and then before I get up, put the fan heater on for half an hour. That should be the perfect solution. So the moment of truth, does this charge with the solar? She's come straight on, and look at that. Power is entering. Let it be known, I am the god of electricity. Don't judge me, but I did oversleep a little bit, and it wasn't until 11 AM that I got that solar thing plugged in. So we have missed out on about 4 hours of sunlight, but at the very end of this video, I'll show you the results of how much it gets charged up by the end of today. But right now, it's time to get home and edit this video before the bad weather starts up again. I hope you enjoyed this one. As always, a massive thank you to everybody who donated to the channel by buying me a brain cell through the link in the description. There is also a link in the description to that new Ecoflow River 2, so go and check that out. Well, would you look at this? It's lucky Jelly Bean identifies as an aquatic vehicle. Whoa, I forgot about me hot chocolate. It's just sat there on the shelf. That could have been a disaster. I really hope you enjoyed watching this one, and stay tuned for the road trip that I'm going on next week. But right now, I'm going to leave you with those clips of the solar panel charging results. So, it has been on for about an hour, that's all so far, and it's up to 51%, which is not too bad. And by the way, the battery to battery charger has topped up the leisure battery to 100% during a drive home. It is now at 76%. It is 2 PM, so it's been 3 hours, and it is raining, so I am getting back in the house. Okay, we've lost all daylight. The sun has gone, and we've made it up to 83%. But I didn't turn this on till 11 AM, and if I'd had it on all night, like I normally would, then as soon as the sun came up at 7 AM, it would have started charging from then. And if that was the case, I'm convinced we would have hit 100%. And considering the weather that we've had all day, I'm pretty sure that it's classed as a success.